Since the dawn of humanity, when our ancestors first gazed upon the vast, untamed world, 4 primal fears have lingered in the collective psyche: pestilence, war, famine, and death. These are not mere threats confined to ancient times. They are timeless specters that continue to haunt our imagination. In the sacred texts of Christianity, these fears take form as the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, enigmatic, awe-inspiring figures who ride forth as harbingers of divine judgment. Their name alone, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, evokes a shiver of recognition, especially among those immersed in films, literature, or the vibrant tapestry of pop culture. These riders, shrouded in mystery and power, have galloped through countless stories, artworks, and games, leaving an indelible mark on human creativity. But who are these 4 horsemen, and why do they wield such cataclysmic influence? Why do they resonate so deeply across cultures and eras? In today's video, Wrong again invites you to embark on a journey into the heart of this biblical enigma, peeling back the layers of myth, theology, and history to uncover the truth behind these iconic figures. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are towering symbols within Christianity, emerging from the book of Revelation, the final and most mysterious book of the New Testament. Written by St. John of Patmos, this sacred text unfolds a series of apocalyptic visions, revealing the day of judgment, a moment when God will unleash his divine verdict upon a world steeped in sin. The book of Revelation is not merely a prophecy of doom, it is a promise of renewal, where the old, corrupt world is swept away to make room for a new era of divine justice and light. In chapter 6 of this book, the horsemen make their dramatic entrance. They appear as the first 4 seals of a sacred scroll, held in the right hand of God, are broken. Each seal unleashes a rider, mounted on a horse of a distinct color, white, red, black, and pale green, each embodying a force of destruction: conquest, war, famine, and death. These are not random calamities, they are deliberate, orchestrated by divine will to punish humanity's transgressions and pave the way for a new dawn. As each seal is broken, 4 celestial beings, described as living creatures in the presence of God, summon the horsemen with voices that thunder like a storm. These riders are more than mere symbols of chaos. They are agents of divine retribution, carrying out God's judgment upon a world that has strayed from righteousness. Yet their arrival is not the end, but a beginning. Christianity teaches that the horsemen's destruction is a necessary prelude to a new world where sin is eradicated and God's kingdom reigns supreme. Their story is one of terror and hope, of judgment and redemption. To truly understand their significance, we must meet each horseman, explore their origins, and unravel the myriad interpretations that have shaped their legacy across centuries. The first horseman, Conquest. When the first seal is broken, a white horse bursts forth, its rider adorned with a crown and wielding a bow. He rides out as a conqueror, bent on victory, his presence radiating authority and power. This figure, often associated with conquest or pestilence, is one of the most debated in biblical scholarship. The white horse, a symbol of purity and triumph in ancient cultures, suggests a figure of immense significance. Some early Christian theologians, such as Irenaeus in the 2nd century, saw this rider as Christ himself, riding forth to spread the gospel and conquer the hearts of humanity. The bow, a weapon of precision and distance, could symbolize the far-reaching power of divine truth. Yet, not all agree. In 1866, scholar William Winpass offered a starkly different view, proposing that this rider is the Antichrist, a false messiah who mimics Christ's glory to deceive and dominate. In this interpretation, the white horse represents a corrupted purity, a facade masking malevolent intent. In modern pop culture, this horseman is frequently depicted as pestilence, his bow evoking the silent, deadly spread of disease that ravages populations. Whether as Christ, Antichrist, or plague, the white horseman embodies a force that reshapes the world through conquest, leaving scholars and storytellers alike captivated by his ambiguity. The second horseman, war. As the second seal is broken, a fiery red horse charges into view. Its rider, gripping a massive sword, is granted the power to strip peace from the earth, inciting men to slaughter one another. The horse's crimson hue, like blood spilled across a battlefield, is an unmistakable emblem of war. This horseman is chaos incarnate, a figure who thrives in the clash of steel and the cries of conflict. His sword, raised to the heavens, signals the unraveling of order as nations and peoples turn against each other. Some interpretations link this rider to civil wars, where internal strife tears societies apart, while others see him as a symbol of religious persecution, particularly against early Christians. Another perspective casts him as the embodiment of imperial collapse, where the divisions within great empires ignite wars that consume entire civilizations. In every interpretation, the Red Horseman is a relentless force, his presence a reminder of humanity's capacity for violence and destruction. The Third Horseman. Famine. When the third seal is opened, a black horse emerges, its rider clutching a pair of scales. A voice from the four living creatures declares, "A quart of wheat for a day's wages and 3 quarts of barley for a day's wages, but do not harm the oil and wine." This horseman is the harbinger of famine, a specter who brings hunger and scarcity to the world. The scales he holds measure not justice but desperation, as the cost of basic sustenance soars beyond the reach of the common man. The reference to oil and wine, luxuries of the elite, underscores a brutal truth. While the poor starve, the wealthy remain untouched, their indulgences preserved amidst widespread suffering. This famine is not merely a failure of crops, but a systemic injustice, where the powerful hoard resources while the powerless waste away. Some scholars see this horseman as a reflection of economic disparity, a critique of societies that prioritize wealth over equity. His black horse, dark as despair, carries the weight of hunger's toll, a grim reminder of the fragility of human survival. The fourth horseman. Death. The breaking of the fourth seal unleashes the most terrifying of the horsemen, a rider on a pale green horse the color of a decomposing corpse. His name is Death, and Hades, the realm of the dead, follows close behind. Granted authority over a quarter of the earth, this horseman wields the power to kill through sword, famine, plague, and wild beasts. Unlike his predecessors, Death needs no weapon. His very presence is a force of annihilation. In artistic depictions, he is often shown with a scythe, the iconic tool of the Grim Reaper, harvesting souls with chilling inevitability. Some interpretations view Death as the culmination of the previous horseman's work. Conquest breeds war, war leads to famine, and famine delivers death. Others see him as the downfall of empires, where entire civilizations crumble under the weight of their own decay. Whether as an individual reaper or a metaphor for collapse, the Pale Horseman is the ultimate end, a figure who closes the chapter on a world judged unworthy. Together, the Four Horsemen form a relentless cycle of destruction. Conquest sparks war, war begets famine, and famine ushers in death. They are not random agents of chaos, but instruments of divine will, executing God's judgment on a sinful world. Yet, their role is not solely to destroy. In the Christian worldview, their arrival signals the end of an old, corrupt order and the birth of a new one, where righteousness prevails. This duality, destruction and renewal, makes the horsemen enduring symbols of both fear and hope. The Four Horsemen have been interpreted in countless ways throughout history. Early Christian theologians saw them as manifestations of God's multifaceted judgment, with some arguing that a single divine figure rides all 4 horses in succession. Others viewed them as prophecies of a future apocalypse, a cataclysm yet to come. Modern scholars, however, often ground their interpretations in the historical context of the 1st century, when the book of Revelation was written. The White Horseman, for example, may symbolize the Parthian Empire, whose skilled archers rode white horses and posed a constant threat to Rome. The famine of the Third Horseman could reflect Emperor Domitian's controversial policy of limiting vineyards to prioritize grain, a decision that led to food shortages and unrest. The Red Horsemen's wars may echo the widespread conflicts of the Roman Empire in the late 1st century, from rebellions to civil strife. These historical ties anchor the horsemen in a specific time and place, yet their universal themes, conquest, conflict, scarcity, and mortality, ensure their relevance across ages. Beyond the realm of theology, the Four Horsemen have galloped into the heart of popular culture, becoming icons of storytelling and imagination. Their first cinematic appearance came in 1921 with The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, a silent film that brought their imagery to life and cemented their place in modern media. The television series Supernatural portrayed them as human-like figures, driving cars that matched their horses' colors, each wielding a ring imbued with apocalyptic power. Their influence extends to comics, where DC and Marvel have woven them into tales of heroes and villains, and to video games like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Final Fantasy, where their imagery fuels epic narratives. The enduring power of the Four Horsemen lies in their ability to embody humanity's deepest fears. Pestilence, war, famine, and death are not just biblical prophecies. They are realities that have shaped human history from its earliest days. They speak to our vulnerability, our struggles, and our hope for redemption. In the Christian tradition, the horsemen are messengers of divine judgment, but they also herald a new beginning, a world cleansed of sin and restored to glory. Their story is a paradox, a tale of terror that promises salvation, a vision of chaos that leads to order. As we reflect on these ancient symbols, we are reminded of our own mortality and the consequences of our actions.